Texans, you can always tell a Texan, but it can't tell them much.
But
I think it's basically you replace it with basically anything. Yeah, right. So we would like to warmly welcome Tony Sava. Tony Sava is from Houston, Texas, and he has been building primarily Lego trains for the past 10 years. So I have a particular affinity for Mr. Sava because, I mean, train people, we worship the ground this guy walks on. Oh, are you gonna kiss me? You're gonna kiss me, aren't you? He's gonna give me a hug. So, my first Lego display convention, I actually brought a copy of one of Tony's models that he had published the instructions for, and that was when I met members of Portland for the first time. So I have fond memories of that. And I mean, look at me now. I'm here on a Friday night. On top of that, even if you're not into trains, he's a very talented builder with amazing eye for detail. So please, everyone, give a warm welcome to Tony Sava.
You'll have to forgive me, I'm not very good at ad-libbing, so I have a script. Can you hear me okay? Yeah! So, howdy! Howdy! All right. I was going to chastise you if you didn't say it.
Don't forget y'all.
Y'all.
You know what plural of y'all is, right?
All y'all. All y'all.
All y'all.
All y'all.
Y'all plus three. That was good.
So, I got my job at NASA in the Lego aisle of a Toys R Us. Let that sink in a little bit. I got my job at NASA in the Lego aisle of a Toys R Us. Lego bricks are all about connections, both physically and metaphorically. And I hope by the time I'm done, you'll have a greater appreciation of what that means. I am Tony Sava, builder of trains and things I like to display behind trains. See, backdrop. I want to let you all know, everything you build, backdrop. Trains in front, backdrop. A little bit about myself. I am married to my beautiful bride, Christina. I have 2 kids. I have Katie, who's 6, AJ, who is 10, and my Lego hobby that's about to graduate high school. I've been nailed to well now for about 17 years. And just like real children, the monthly tuition fees keep going up. I joined LugNet back in 2000. Building castles is a tool for my story I was writing called The Chronicles of Icros. Really dating myself there. But after a while, I started becoming involved in more in the community aspect. And in 2003, I helped found a website called ClassicCastle.com, a website devoted to promoting the Lego castle community. I also became quite heavily involved in my local Tex Lug, and I was even their Lego ambassador for several years. I've always loved trains. I had model trains growing up, but the official Lego train sets always look like toys to me. That's okay, but I was always more into the model aspect. So when I saw some of the trains my fellow Tex Luggers had built, I was really impressed. They looked like trains. And when my dear lovely wife in 2006 asked me to build a Polar Express, I said, sure. Of course, she had no idea what she was getting herself into. What she wanted was a static display to put on a shelf. What I built was a fully functional, motorized train complete with interiors. It was all downhill from there. My Lego train fetish kept growing, and in Brickworld 2009, I became involved in Rail Bricks, the Lego train magazine, and eventually helped found the Texas Brick Railroad, the Texas lug devoted to just trainy things. I've had several careers in my life, but my first job, like I said, was with a NASA subcontractor. And as I said before, I got that job in the Lego aisle at Toys R Us. After I graduated college, I struggled to find work. So I waited around for that call for that interview, and devoted myself to the Lego hobby and my place in it. At the time, Classic Castle was a well-established website, and I slept, ate, and breathed Lego. Through Lugnet, I had learned there was a sale on a specific retiring set. Toys R Us was selling off a $200 train set for half price, but it had already been marked down at a secret half price. So when I got there, they were two of them for $50 each. Yes, please. While I hurriedly stuffed the sets into my car, I noticed a middle-aged man standing there holding the same, multiple copies of the same castle set, kind of staring at the bricks. He had that look. I recognized it. You all recognize it. That I'm not buying these for everyone else look. That what can I build with these, and how can I keep it from my kids? So I kind of sidled over to him and said, "So, do you build with Lego?" He seemed a bit surprised, but said yes. And he was actually looking for parts for his current mock that he was building, which back to the castle. I told him about Classic Castle and a few other AFOL websites, Brick Crap, you know. And we soon parted ways. I pretty much forgot about it after that. 3 or 4 months later, I got a private message on the Classic Castle forum. One of the forum members had learned about my unemployment and wanted to bring me in for a job interview. When I arrived, there was the guy from Toys R Us. In fact, when I sat down at the interview, he said it was more formality. The job was mine if I wanted it. My resume had all the skills he wanted, and he had gotten to know me as an administrator at Classic Castle. I held that job for 6 years, and it paid for the births of both my children, my house, and a few trips to Lego conventions. It completely changed my life. And all because of this Lego hobby that we all share. Lego bricks connect to each other, but they all connect all of us, and in some really surprising ways. When Ole Kirk Christensen founded Lego, he was interested in creating a system of play, a product that was compatible this year as it would be with the next year. But what he created was far more complex than what he had intended. Not only is a child's Lego product compatible now with the products he's already owned and the products he will own in the future, but that child's Lego bricks are compatible with every other child's bricks. What Lego created was more than a system of play, they created a language. Just like math is the universal language of science, so too Lego is the universal language of play. But I would argue Lego is even more universal than math. You see, while math itself is universal, it requires a language to translate it. It's intangible. Think of all the different ways you can write the number 4. How would you communicate a simple mathematical formula to someone who has no concept of how you view numbers? Without a common cipher or common language, math is useless between people. Lego, on the other hand, is tangible. It's unchanging. Sure, we call them different things. Studs, pips, bumps, 2x4 brick, 4x2 brick. My brother-in-law calls them 8-stud bricks. But these are just names. Lego itself is the same. Lego instructions have no words, for the most part. They don't need them. Sure, there are page numbers, step numbers, quantities of bricks. That's just for ease of use. Part by part, step by step, Lego instructions lead you without word or instruction. You see a part, you use that part. And this means that a redneck like me from Texas, if I can talk, can go over to a Japanese fan website and look at their mocks and understand them. I can't read Japanese, but odds are pretty good that I'll instantly understand what that mock is supposed to be, and more importantly, how those bricks were put together. Might even be able to recreate it. You could put a group of people together who speak no common language, but give them an instruction book of Lego, and they could build that model. I would wager they might even be able to team up and build something from just a picture and a pile of bricks. And that's why we come together at conventions like this, from all of our different backgrounds, our different experiences, talents. We are all bound together, not just by these little plastic bricks, the language of those bricks. We communicate in Lego. That's why the train guys can hang out with the mech builders, and the castle guys can trade ideas with the spacers. And when we communicate, we can learn, and we can teach. With online forums, we have the ability to show off our Lego creations, but we can also learn new techniques, new brick sentences, so to speak, and eventually improve our skill set at building. I've heard quite a few builders, some very famous ones, say, I build for you. I build for me, I don't build for you. Don't tell me how I could do it differently. I find that sad. I can understand where they're coming from. Don't get me wrong, they're right to some degree. You should not build for somebody else's enjoyment. But I come from the mindset, if I can learn, if I can improve, why shouldn't I? I wasn't always like that. I too came from the camp of, I build for me, shut up. But as I talked to other AFOLs, went to lug meetings, conventions, I began to understand there's so much I don't know, and so much that others have to teach. That's why if you go to my Flickr page, you'll find hundreds of work in progress photos and requests by me for input. I want to learn, I want to get better. And taking criticism is hard, it always is. I find there's about 5 stages of accepting Lego criticism. Shut up, I like it the way it is. After all, if I wanted it built differently, I would have done it your way. That might look better, but it'll never work. I built this model, you don't know how it's built. Your idea may have merit, but it'll never fit in my model. Well, you know, if I just... Okay, you know what, it might be possible to make those parts fit. I think I remember that new part came out last year. This actually works pretty well. Well, look at that. I was able to get the design to fit in my model. Why didn't I do this the first time? It really does look a lot better. Sorry I didn't think of it. Early in my Lego career, I wanted to build a specific steam engine. A glorious, sleek, streamlined super engine. The Pennsylvania T1. One of the fastest steam engines ever built. It's slick, it's gorgeous. Isn't it? It's gorgeous. And really difficult to capture in bricks. I struggled for that iconic nose. If I couldn't capture that nose, my finished mock would not be recognizable. And that's where I got some help. From space.
Yeah.
A space builder, in fact. Ned, whose real name was Nate Nielsen, was a fantastic builder who built spaceships, the Vic Viper being his specialties, one of his specialties. He organized the annual November contest, inviting everyone and anyone to build their own Vic Viper class spaceship. Ned was instrumental in helping me get through my design hell. He helped me understand the shape I was trying to capture. Not like a flattened torpedo, but that of a flathead screwdriver. It was his work on his unconventional spaceships that helped him see what I could not, to help him decipher this unconventional train.
There's a double engine, it had 4 pistons.
Nate's Lego builds and his connection to the Lego community touches countless people. And is a great illustration on how influential one person can be. Our hobby has grown and aged, and some of our important figures and pioneers have come and gone. But Lego connects us, it builds us. This community of ours is the ultimate mock. Much like Lego bricks connect together to the greater whole, so do we, as builders, connect to this giant rainbow warrior-like community creation. If you pull in a single piece in a mock, the whole mock comes with it. If you pull in it's part of the whole, it's bound and connected. If you attempt to forcibly remove that piece, the mock will need to be broken apart to separate it. We are no less connected to this community. When a piece is removed, it damages the community. But unlike Lego bricks, unlike a physical mock, we are not so easily replaced. We are completely unique. We fill the hole in the community as only we can, and that hole will forever remain. We can build around it, we can reinforce that section, but the damage is done, and the echo remains. I don't know if Nan or Dan Jezik or Travis Kuntz or any of the other AFOLs that are gone knew of their connection or the impact they have had. Sometimes we don't know what other bricks connect to us. Sometimes we are lucky enough to find out. Let me tell you a little bit about Edward Chang. Ed is a great builder, a LEGO ambassador, and a founding member of my club, the Texas Brick Railroad. He is a member of the new generation of train builders, winner of awards, and regularly puts my work to shame. He is one to watch. But how did he get his start? When he was in college in Chicago, Ed was playing around with Eldron, not really building anything with any real bricks. He wasn't really building any specific theme either. After he moved to Indianapolis to continue his education, he joined IndyLug and discovered Lego trains. He was inspired by a picture he saw online, and it inspired him to work on his own locomotive. He continued his work in Eldron, building, rebuilding, redesigning, and finally, after several iterations, actually started putting some real bricks together. Finally, completing his Berkshire locomotive. There it is.
Wow.
After becoming a professional, Ed settled down in Houston. He went to his first lug meeting there, a meeting I organized at a friend's house. He shared his mocks and decided to become more active in the local lug. He eventually helped found Texas Brick Railroad. He is our LEGO ambassador, and one of the driving forces behind everything we do. He is an invaluable member of our club and our family. I like to think that I discovered Ed, but I didn't. He discovered me. That photo of a mock that he saw online was my photo.
Oh, cool.
My steam engine over my trestle bridge is all that was needed to inspire Ed to become a world-class, award-winning train builder. He and I haven't gotten to a game of one-upsmanship yet, but we help push each other to become better builders. We feed off each other creative energy. I'm connected to quite a few builders that way, folks who I use to help feed my creativity. Case in point, K.L. Park. I have to say he is the best train builder because I lost a bet. It was for charity and I'm okay with it. But this sort of thing isn't new. KL and I are friendly rivals. We had interacted online a few times, but we really didn't become friends until we met in person at BrickWorld 2009. There we bonded over trains and beer, and his recent demonstrations of what power functions can do, completely smoking the 9-volt people. Ever since then, we've been talking to each other online and teaming up at conventions, pushing each other to build better. We live thousands of miles apart, but he probably has influenced my building style as much as anyone. And I'd like to think the two of us have helped influence the greater train community through our work, building, as well as through sites like Rail Bricks and the new Brick Model Railroader. But our connection runs deeper than all of that. You see, Cale and I have this Twilight Zone history that I have a hard time believing even today. When Cale and I first became AFOLs by joining LugNet, we did it early 2000. When we joined LugNet, we both built castles. In 2006, we both began building train mocks. They were both steam engines. At BrickWorld 2009, we both joined Rail Bricks. And of course, after that, our connections just kind of intertwined permanently after that. So what about you? Do you have any connections like these? You might think you don't. You might think you're just out there on your own, but I can guarantee you're wrong. Let's play a little game, shall we? You've probably heard of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. You have, and it goes a little bit like this. Every celebrity can be connected to Kevin Bacon by no more than 6 degrees of separation. This actor was in this movie with that actor. That actor happened to be in the movie with Kevin Bacon. That actor's Bacon number is 2. Well, what if I told you that we AFOLs have our own Kevin Bacon? What if I told you that every AFOL in the entire universe is connected together by one man. Through the far-flung corners of the AFOL universe, between lugs, shows, displays, conventions, and events, we are all brought together and connected by Abner Finley. Yes, Abner has been to just about every LEGO convention there is, at least once. BrickFest, BrickWorld, BrickCon, BrickFet, BricksCascade. He's been to events here in North America, and Europe, and Asia. The list goes on. Through him, we can connect any AFOL to Abner Finley. But we can go further than that. We here at BricksCascade 2017 are here with Abner. Abner attended BrickWorld 2009, where Kjeld Kurtz Christensen was attending. Everyone here has an Abner number to Kjeld of 2. But wait, there's more. We're here with Abner. Abner has met Nathan Sawaya, famous professional brick artist, both at Brick Magic and at BrickFest. Nathan Sawaya has built a life-size replica of and has met in person Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien, famous late-night talk show host, has on multiple occasions interviewed Kevin Bacon. That's right, your Abner number is your Bacon number.
That's fun.
There is power in our connection to this community and to these little plastic bricks. That's why we're here, right? At least in part. I mean, we do come to see the mocks to show off what we've built, but you know we could share these online, we could see them online. I like to think most of the people in this room, whether they know it or not, are here to meet old friends or to make new ones, to finally put a face to that screen name you've been talking to for years, to not just become inspired by our fellow builders, but to make that connection to continue to be inspired for years to come, to make that friendship that lasts a lifetime. Heck, I know quite a few AFOLs who've gotten married and have little mocks of their own. I hope these stories have inspired you at least a little to explore the connections around you, to come to a greater appreciation of how you are connected to this community, and this community is connected to you. LEGO only set out to create a product for children. What they made was an entire universe of creativity. Tens of thousands of people all around the world building and inspiring each other, all connected by these little plastic bricks.